You want to see a fucking perfect example of the priorities of ownership. Security, $20 to $25. Cooks, what was that number? 19 to 23, 18 to 23. If you ever watched South Park at any point, you probably remember the episode where Cartman goes to Casa Bonita. Now, Casa Bonita is a staple here in Colorado. I'm not from here. I actually have never been inside of the darn thing, although I do work rather close to it. But after a couple years of being shut down, Casa Bonita has reopened under the leadership of Matt Stone and Trey Parker, the creators of South Park. And so far, it's been a bit of a rough open. Unfortunately for the South Park creators, they're running into a few hiccups and a few, issues with the opening of their newly acquired restaurant. So let's go take a look, shall we? Got a nice local segment, right? All right. Colfax, correct. All right. Casa Bonita employees submitted a list of demands to management last week. By the way, this was 19th. Nice. Last week and started a petition citing why they're unhappy with their current situation at the iconic restaurant. The list came from 50 employees asking management, quote, to revert to what was originally promised by ownership when they were hired months ago, defining their exact hours of operation and giving them a set fully operational opening date is another concern the workers brought to the table. In addition to Casa Bonita's undefined hours and days of operation, the group demanded access to health benefits. It also wants, quote, the ability to consider employment documents for a reasonable time frame before signing and to reinstate former employees lost through Casa Bonita's contract-related disputes. In a press release, a group known as #WeAreTeamCasa said it drafted the demand letter to management with the assistance of Restaurant Opportunities Centers United. There was a promise of lucrative business, which would bring an incredible opportunity monetarily. We have yet to see any of this lucrative business. Despite people nationwide waiting patiently to finally see the inside of this Colorado landmark, we want to see Casa Bonita thrive, and if ownership and management cannot bring that about, then we will. The letter was delivered on July 12th, and the group said that it gave ownership and upper management 1 week to respond. As of Wednesday night, there were 433 of the 500 signatures posted on the petition. That's quite a lot. What is that, 77? No, 67. That's 67 holdouts. That's not much at all. A statement from Casa Bonita said managers are focusing on creating best situation. Blah, 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 blah. So, what are they actually looking for? To Trey Parker, Matt Stone, Donna Rodriguez, and Casa Bonita. Oh, I think this is the actual letter. Cool, let's read this. To the owners and managers of Casa Bonita, we are current and former employees of Casa Bonita, #WeAreTeamCasa, and members of ROC United, an organization of restaurant workers that work together to improve wages and working conditions in our industry. We take pride in our jobs and demand transparency with management and owners of Casa Bonita, a better relationship built on trust and clear, well-articulated communication. To achieve this, we have collectively decided on implementing these terms. Here are our demands. Hours of operation. We demand a clearly defined path to being open 7 days per week, including an official opening date. A clearly defined roadmap to how employees receive benefits with specific dates, requirements to achieve them, as well as a list of benefits to be offered. A clearly defined and accessible pathway toward insurance for all interested employees. Pay structure. A mutually agreed on tip pool structure with input from all staff members. Full transparency regarding how the mutually agreed upon tip pool will be dispersed. A voice in the workplace. Direct line of communication between management and employees. We demand to have more direct access to management meetings via work group representatives of our choosing. Transparency with two-way communication between staff and management, such as a daily pre-shift meeting. There will be no more demands from management to sign any changes to any policy, contract, etc. that are expected the same day. Employees will be given a reasonable time frame to consult family attorneys, etc. When making decisions. Now, I want also to keep in mind, like, while I read these, how many of these are really that unreasonable? A lot of this is like, hey, because right now, from what I understand, Casa Bonita is only open from Thursday to Saturday. And even then, I believe it's only dinner hours. So their hours of operation aren't even, they have people who are hired, presumably for full time positions, and they're kind of clearly not getting full time hours. And, if you've ever worked in a restaurant, you know that, it's a bit awkward to be like, oh, hey, like I'm getting a second job. Like, do you know when you're going to open, when I can like quit there, when I can't? And if they don't really have answers because it seems like they're just kind of they took off on the plane and they're trying to figure out how to actually fly it. That kind of seems to be the situation. And the problem a lot with that, with a lot of that is while Matt Stone and Trey Parker, while the owners and management of Casa Bonita figure it out, during this soft, slow open, the people who are actually going, like, paying the price for this are their workers. Their workers aren't getting the hours they need. They're not getting any of like the benefits that they were promised. They're not getting like any, or at the very least, they're not getting any benefits. They're not getting the hours that they were promised, or even like any kind of inkling as to when business would actually pick up and when they could actually begin employment. And I know the South Park guys are very like libertarian leaning, but this is kind of what happens when you just kind of, as like an owner, you're just like, oh, we'll open here, we'll only do a couple days, and we'll just kind of like we'll hire all these people, and we'll just kind of figure it out. Our wages, we'll kind of figure out. Our menu, we'll just kind of figure out. How we run everything, we'll just kind of figure it out. And like, there's not always anything wrong with that, but like, do you think Matt Stone and Trey Parker, do you think like they're in the restaurant figuring it out, or are they just kind of opening, letting things happen, good, bad, or indifferent, and then trying to go, okay, change this, keep that, keep this, change that, like, and it's incredibly insecure for workers, incredibly insecure. Reinstate unfairly terminated employees. Any and all original Casa Bonita employees who are no longer employed by Casa Bonita because of their contract-related disputes will be reoffered their positions with the newly negotiated terms. Our goal is to foster a more supportive work environment and increase overall job satisfaction among the staff. We are Team Casa. Our collective dedication to Casa Bonita can be strengthened through the commitment to meeting these demands. Finally, we remind you that it is against federal law to retaliate against. Nice, amazing. Relative, I know, right? Like, I remember hearing that, and I thought it was like an absolute joke. Also, keep in mind, I don't think I can. Well, can I sign this? Receive emails from RLC. I guess I can, right? I'll do this later. I'll do that later so I don't dox myself. But besides standing with the Casa Bonita workers on like a what's it called? On like a as somebody who works in the food industry, I'm a cook myself. I stand with these folks. But like, keep in mind also, we would not be seeing this moment. You know who else is striking right now? All the writers, all the movie staff, Teamsters going soon, fucking UPS workers at the end of the month, if I remember correctly. Like, this is a wonderful, beautiful, just amazing. Another example of worker solidarity and worker action. This year, 2023 so far, and I think like maybe the last 2 years, like 2022 as well, because we saw some strikes last year, if I remember correctly. But man, like, this post-COVID era has been absolutely wonderful in terms of seeing how much, how much labor action we've seen, how many strikes that we've seen, how many people who are standing up and, after being asked to go back to the mines during COVID, after being asked to like I remember getting the call being like, hey, we're opening back up. And then, my first question was, back in 2020, and having to, and like asking like, what do you mean we're coming back? Like, what do you mean? It's been a couple weeks and cases are not like, they haven't dropped to like zero. Like we're not, you know, it's not over. What the fuck do you mean? You know, we're everyone's coming back. And like all of these companies, all of these CEOs, all of these boards, all of them eventually decided, all right, look, we are done taking losses because of COVID. Everyone get the fuck back into the building and start making us money again. And I think because of that kind of disregard for workers, I think it really radicalized a lot of people, got them to kind of shake them out of this myth that like your managers or your CEO or whoever has your best interests in heart or has your interest at all in mind. They're there to make money off of your labor. And what we are seeing now here in 2023, we are seeing a ton of labor action, a ton of people coming up and coming together and demanding better conditions for themselves. You love to see it. You know, because, you know, regardless of whatever, we talk a lot about legislation and stuff like that. And all of that is incredibly important. You know, what gets passed in Congress, what makes it to the president's desk, incredibly important. The politics of making sure that people know that SCOTUS and the Republicans cost them their debt relief for colleges. That's all important. But like, we also need to understand that like previous labor movements have been the backbone to progressive change. When more people understand that like their class and understand where they are in politics and where they stand and who they stand with and what kind of the actual people who are looking out for them. Because, you know, how many times do we see like these Republicans who get on here and, you know, they bluster about like, you know, caring about the working man and doing all this stuff, but then have no interest in strikes, have no solidarity, have no good things to say about the unions. At the end of the day, that party wants to paint itself with populism, but do so in a way that is antithetical to labor and favorable to ownership. And we are seeing thousands of people start, I like hundreds of thousands of people, I think, start to understand like, no, and the Hollywood strike and everything else. And people will say, oh, those people are paid so much. It's not that bad. Oh, I can't, you know, it's working on a TV show. It's work. You know, like anybody who pretends that writing a movie, writing a TV show is somehow easy because it's not, you know, lifting heavy things or it's not doing whatever it is that they do, like are utterly full of shit. And what we're seeing, and I think what we're also seeing is because of the out front and kind of what's the word, like, you know, the unavoidable nature of the current like Hollywood strike, I'm really optimistic that that's kind of stirring in people the permission to fight for themselves a little bit more. Like, yeah, it's good. Like these are in a time when, like, you know, when things are a bit of a mess, good labor action will bring people together and will kind of stamp out a lot of the, because like, keep in mind, with a strong labor movement, and this is this part, this thing that I'm going to say right now is purely speculation on my part. And also, like, this is just a sense I get, but like, we have it's incredibly hard. We have actually, quick aside, you can go look at my channel. I have like, the first couple of videos are like essays. Oh man, that it took so long to write and everything. Like, it's so fucking hard. Especially trying to write jokes and stuff. Oh, it's awful. Aside over. But and this is my take. In a time when we are seeing a rise in the United States of fascism, a prominence of fascist rhetoric pushed by some of the most powerful people in the Republican Party, in government, you know, we're seeing all of this stuff. In a time where that's kind of still on the rise, I think. You know, I think January 6th was just kind of a bit of a spark, right? But they haven't gone anywhere. All of those fascists are still around, and a lot of that messaging is still on. But in a time that we have that, in a time that all is going on, I think labor action is the true counter to fascism, because it is difficult to convince the normal man that, black people have been keeping him down, that the Hispanics are taking his job, that the Jews are trying to control him, that the LGBTs are trying to control him. It is difficult to convince somebody of fascism when they are holding hands with their brothers and sisters of all stripes as workers. When people have an understanding that they are all workers in a class, it is so much harder to divide them. And we've seen that over the last probably like 30 or 40 years, as union representation has fallen, as people have become a lot more atomized, not just in their workplaces, but in their lives, and just aren't connected to each other the same way they used to be. Like, as we see that era kind of fold in, and this era of mass labor action make a comeback, it's going to be a lot harder to convince people, I think, of fascism under those conditions. It's going to be so much harder when you're in a union made up of everybody under the sun. It's hard to turn people against those groups just over petty bullshit like oh, they made me use they them pronouns. But anyway, let's that being said, Casa Bonita has responded to the employees. After all of that, let's take a read. Casa Bonita responded Monday to a list of demands from some of its employees centered around better working conditions and compensation, saying they want the iconic Colorado landmark to open, quote, well, not fast. The demands from We Are Team Casa, a group of about 50 Casa Bonita employees, include clarity from management on the restaurant's hours of operation and health benefits, as well as transparency from ownership and, quote, a voice in the workplace. Honest to God, this is like the biggest one, because frequently I think, you would see people go, oh, we want health benefits. Oh, we want more transparency about hours, stuff like that. But a voice in the workplace, these people clearly yearn. They yearn for a democratic workplace, and I support them in that. Let's see. The collective said in a statement on Wednesday they were originally promised benefits, but many haven't met the threshold of worked hours to qualify for these benefits. Oh, okay. So I remember this. Back when I started working, we still had Obamacare with the mandate, and it was really fun because essentially you weren't allowed to work more than 29 hours unless you were a full-time manager, to which there were 2 in our entire building. So everyone worked 29 hours. Nobody got health care, even though and we just hired a ton of people. We all I remember when I started working, I got paid $7.25 on 29 hours. Jesus, trying to live on that. If I was lucky, it was $350 for 2 weeks of work. It was god awful. Let's see. But promised benefits, money having at the threshold benefits, as there has been, quote, no clear pathway to being open 7 days a week. The restaurant has only been operating Thursday through Saturday since its reopening last month. We were hired for full time 40 hours a week, but what we're getting is 20 hours or less each week on average. Even some of us are making less than 15 hours. It's ridiculous, and we want to be paid full time. Joe Lowry, who works at guest services at Casa Bonita. In response, management said in a memo sent to staff Friday that the restaurant has been, quote, intentional about opening gradually in order to refine the many complex aspects of the Casa Bonita experience, adding that while they understand the frustration that has accompanied the restaurant's slow, soft opening, they have been transparent about, quote, the intention and reasons behind the pacing. We do not want to make promises to customers or staff that we cannot fulfill. And keep in mind, they've already, this is always, half speak, because they'll say, oh, we don't want to make promises to customers or staff. No, the thing that you don't want to do is make promises to customers. Keep in mind, they've already fucked over their staff and not fulfilled promises. They just, they're just well, we fuck you over, who cares? We can't fuck over customers, though, because that's the only thing that matters. Because a lot of these places at the end of the day live by, the old mantra, the customer is always right. Because at the end of the day, they're here to make money. They're not here to provide jobs. If they could put robots and machines into every position in Casa Bonita, including the cliff divers, they would in a heartbeat. They'd do it in a heartbeat. Because, if all you have to do is pay for the robot to get built, that's like one cost and you're done. You don't have to pay for hourly wage. You don't have to pay for healthcare. They don't get sick. They don't ever get tired. You know all the memes. Let's see. We are Team Casa told Denver 7 several employees, including former bartender Russ Lee, were let go after a contract dispute last month. Among them was the adoption of a no tipping policy at the restaurant, which meant a switch to a flat wage of $30 per hour for servers and bartenders rather than the $14.27 per hour that Casa Bonita originally agreed to. Lee told Denver 7 that flat rate model meant a pay cut of 40 to 50% without tips for servers, while other workers not serving or bartending made well under $30 per hour. These poor folks aren't even going to see. Yeah, they're going to get a huge fucking cut, especially if they're only working Thursday to Saturday. And then like that $30 an hour is only going to be for the servers and wait staff, but like that's it. Like it's just a flat rate. You might do hundreds of dollars, cuz like that's how it is for cooks, right? Cooks don't get I've never worked as a cook anywhere where we got tipped out, right? It was always service staff gets tipped out. And for us it was, we get tipped, if you get paid $20, we'll say, right? If you make, in an hour, you're going to make more than $20 worth of food. You're probably going to make somewhere around, we were busy this weekend for Barbie. You're going to make some, we probably pumped out multiple hundreds of dollars worth of food in 1 hour. And it only cost them $20 to do that. And that's kind of how the servers are going to be. That's what it's going to look like for servers. They're going to be running out like hundreds of dollars worth of food. They're going to get $30 out of it for multiple hundreds of dollars of food. People go to Casa Bonita, at least, again, I haven't been there, but it kind of seems like a big event kind of thing. You take the whole family, you take a lot of people. If you're running out all that food, you're managing those tables for, 5, 10 people, maybe 15 even. I don't know how many people can sit there. But you're doing a lot more than $30 worth of fucking work. Casa Bonita, in response, said the change in salary structure was due to customers, quote, leaving tips that were much lower than we expected since the restaurant's soft openings. With the unanticipated shortfalls in customer tipping during the soft openings, all staff were experiencing lower income than expected. That is why we moved to substantially enhance hourly rates. So, okay, let's also keep in mind this is based like if you're like a bartender or you're a wait staff, you know what a cut looks like. Them saying, "Oh yeah, there was like there just wasn't that much tipping," I don't really trust on face value, but. Even if I were to do that, there's a really, 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 really simple solution to this. And it's, what's it called? It's automatic gratuity charge. That's it. That's all you do. You automatic, like a lot of restaurants do this already, where if you have a party of X number or above, then, they'll just add an extra, 20% onto your tip. 20% onto your bill, and that's your tip. You don't have to tip, you don't have to tip. They're already taking that out, right? And that's like the easy way to pretty much just ensure people are getting tips without like touching wages and without doing any of the rest of that stuff. So like at the end of the day, like there's a solution to this, but they don't want that solution. Like they don't want to do that because they don't want customers complaining about not being able to choose how much to tip, which is essentially customers saying, I want to be able to tip less. I don't want to always tip X percentage. But if you're going to have a all-in-one model, if you're going to have a, you buy your entry fee, then that needs to be with with anything you get, it's a 20% gratuity for everything. If it's not, I don't know. Maybe we can look it up. We can look up what it all costs to go and whatnot. Oh, that was the air conditioning. Let's see. Something. Okay, here we go. Enhanced. With unanticipated. That's why we moved to a substantially enhanced hourly rates. Management wrote in Friday's memo, adding they remained focused on providing their staff, quote, with a fair compensation and benefits package. Well, there is no benefits package. Something Casa Bonita management said they were now able to deliver on, as the entry has doubled their service from 1,148 customers a week to over 2,300 last week. That's not that much. Staff were told Friday they were expected the number would grow to over 2,600 by next week. While this is still a long way from around 20,000 customers a week we hope to serve, it's a major achievement, as all of our staff have now been given the opportunity to work sufficient hours to have full-time benefits, the memo reads. Which, again, this is just like them saying, no, what are you talking about? You've had sufficient hours. What are you talking about? Management encouraged employees to share concerns directly with them and said they had multiple venues to express opinions, both as individuals and as a collective. We intend to continue to experiment with changes, alterations, and improvements as dictated by our evolving business and the lessons we learn. One thing that's certain is that Casa Bonita will keep evolving. Yeah, whatever. Keep in mind, again, intend to continue experimenting with changes is always we will move stuff around to extract as much profit as we can. That is, at the end of the day, the goal. When they say that they want a good experience or whatever, or they're trying to fit the needs of the company, all that. It's just, we need to find the places in which we can squeeze the most profit out of. As of Friday, Casa Bonita was only allowing ticketed guests inside for limited dinner hours in what is the website called a beta testing phase. It was limiting tickets to those who were on its email list. Lunch service was listed as coming soon in the restaurant's website. Oh, let's go take a look. Ooh. Oh, God. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Jesus, guys. Oh, my God. Jesus, guys. Precisely. I mean, most likely what they should settle around is if they really want to offer people a good wage, $30 an hour, and then just a flat gratuity charge for everybody who comes in and anything that you get. Dinner and weekends, Thursday, 6 hours. Jesus. They're open for 18 hours out of the entire week? Yeah, you're paying $40 for a ticket to get in. Lunch, 11, Monday through Friday. Okay. 11 to 3, that's still like, what, 4 hours? So they're open for, we've bumped up to, what is that? Does that say 4 hours? Monday through Friday, that's 20 hours. Granted, that's like, and keep in mind also, like, people have to like fucking drive in and everything. Like, going to work like 5 days a week is already a pain in the ass. And then if you're not even like really, meal options, what the fuck? Ticket includes your choice of one entree. Below all entrees include Mexican rice and beans. Whoa, okay. Ceviche. Citrus poached shrimp with pico de gallo, avocado, and corn tortilla chips. Does not include rice and beans. Oh my God. What is this fucking model? Like $30 and you get, is it just food? I guess it's the whole experience, right? Oh buddy. Like just fucking charge for the food like a normal restaurant. I don't even understand what this model is about. Like, careers. Ooh, let's look at their career. Oh, open positions. Ooh. Arcade. There's an arcade here. Does that come with arcade attendant? Okay, cool. Am I crazy? Are they in Lakewood? Salary 17 to 1920. All training shifts are 17.29. Estimated hours of operations 11 to 11, which we know is not true. 7 days. Yeah, look at this. Look. Estimated hours of operation are currently 11 to 11, 7 days a week. All work shifts are built around those hours and additional necessary time to open and close. All shifts include a weekend day, which is just a lie. They're not like PTO blackout period for Thanksgiving week till January. Though we are closed Thanksgiving and Christmas for employees to spend with their... Oh, well, that's nice. So you can't ask off between November 20th and January the 1st. That's nice. That's cool. Must be flexible to work a variety of shifts, including weekends, late nights. Background check all employees. That's nice. Willing to follow procedures and take direction. Be able to work in a loud, distracting environment. Must be able to communicate clear in English. Preferred candidates also can communicate in Spanish. Strong math, verbal skills, 6 months of experience, high-paced environment preferred. Cash handling experience, 17 years of age, 50 pounds, must be able to bend, stretch, all the rest of that. Stretch Armstrong, must attend orientation, 90-day probationary period. Oh, there's a probationary. Oh, how much you want to bet how many people don't make it through that? 1099 coordinator. Oh, bilingual. Okay. Entertainment crew, theatrical dance, immersive performance, puppeteers, front of house. Okay, if I wanted to be a cook, hopefully my boss isn't watching my stream. If I want to go be a cook, cool. I get a blank fucking page. That's nice. There we go. All right, let's see. Cook. Correct uniform, positive personal hygiene. Yeah. Must be lift. Yeah. Position, minimum 1 year work experience. Blah, 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 blah. 18 to 23 per hour based on applicable experience. All right, so most people are going to get anywhere between 18 and like 20. Same thing, 7 days a week. They're not open that often. Benefits, health, dental, vision, life. I don't even know. Is that life insurance and other? Yeah, even though, like, according to them, there hasn't been any talks of this. I am not going to be applying to this, but that's mainly because I don't need to. What are the dishwashers making? I'm kind of curious. Dishwashers making 17.26 to 19. It's not awful. Security guard. What do we got? What's security making? Wow. What the fuck is this? Secure. Okay. Do you want? Okay. Do you want to see a perfect example of you want to see a fucking perfect example of the priorities of ownership? Security, $20 to $25. Cooks, what was that number? 19 to 23, 18 to 23. Like, at the end of the day, yep, surveillance technician, what are you making? 20 to 24. Let's see, Mercado attendant, what are you making? 7 to not even past 20. 17.26 to 20. Assistant bar manager. Ooh, let's take a look at this. Let's see. Oh, where is it? Oh my God. Why is this in a completely this is afternoon. Oh, this is not formatted correctly, but pay range 50 to 50. Damn, that's not that great, honestly. Table assistant. Let's see. Front of house manager on duty. Liability. Let's see. If you 30. Oh shit. 34. 30 fucking 4. I guess if you're front of house, I guess, but you're not like, you're just manager on duty. That's basically a shift manager. Jesus. 30, like that 34 outpaces all of your fucking cooks. What are the puppeteers making? 20 to 24. Oh, they must have like no fucking hours. Usually when you see that, that means there's like no hours. Professional performance experience. Introduction to yourself. State your name. No, I don't care about that. Audition submission. Ooh. Professional performance experience. Comfortable memorizing scripts. Puppetry. Trigger, rod, avenue, cue styles. What are the, yeah, weekly 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Yeah, see, again, it's like they keep saying that it's like an all-day shift, but they're not open all day. They're not even close to open all day. $2 extra for taking on the risk. That's well, keep in mind, Notabud, that's $2 extra than the max that you can get as a cook. And keep in mind, as a security guard, you're not creating any value. At most, you're going to be standing around and just kind of waiting for something to happen, to which the amount of times you need security at restaurants, while not like zero, is not the the investment you make into that is nowhere near the investment that you need to make into cooks. Also, there's a different one for, what is this one? Cook assistant prep. Oh, okay, so it's, what the fuck is cook prep and line attendant? that's different from just a regular ass. I'm assuming it's just like they're kind of slightly higher up. Here's 2025. Yeah, $2 more than the yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, you can make $2 more. Yeah, the max. And again, like that. Well, but that's also the thing. Like that was the point I was making, is where what they value. Who you're paying and how much you're paying them is a reflection of your values. If they're paying their security, like if their security pay is outpacing their cook pay, then that kind of tells me that they find their security to be more valuable. And I find that utterly absurd. The idea that like the people who are creating the actual value, the people who are doing all of the cliff diving and all of the reenacting and the actual making of the food and everything else, but the people you pay more than them are what? The guys who stand around and just kind of hang out until something happens, which again, as somebody who's worked in multiple restaurants in a lot of different places, we've needed real security once to twice a year. If we're like really lucky, and like the place I work has a bar attached to it. So like customers enough to hire security. A security guard takes physical risk. A cook barely does. What the fuck are you talking about? Have you? Okay. You've never held a job. That's fine. Okay. I'm not doing this. Okay. Fucking standing around. Anyway, let's. Do we need to watch the videos? I feel like we already. Yeah. I did ad hom you because that was fucking like idiotic. Cook barely does. Should I show you my fucking like grease burns that I have? Like, what are these? These are probably 1st degree. Like, do I need to show you all the cuts, bruises, everything? Like, come on, dude. Like, you've seen mall cops before. They stand around. I've been in enough places where we had security. They mostly just hang out. Even people who worked in what's it called? And not to say that it's not meaningful work. It's just these things, like, they don't bring value. They protect value. And the fact that you would shell out more money to protect it rather than giving more of that to the people who are creating it tells me to a degree where your values are. The thing that they tell, like at the end of all YouTube videos where they tell you to like click on one of these like things to watch more videos. Yeah, I've been meaning to film one of those. So that's what I was doing. I was just setting it up to film one.